Hello and welcome to Veggie Patch Ideas. It's very raining outside. We're in the Thunderdome. Let's see what we're sowing in January. So right then, now we'll do a hot tray first, and what I mean by hot tray is this will be transferred into a different tray and it'll be plugged in and heated from the bottom, and we'll put all our seedlings that like the hot temperatures and a longer start to the season. So let's fill this up with compost and let's get going, shall we? Right, so before we start anything, I want to add some perlite to the mix. So, and this will keep the compost nice and free draining. And I like to use around 10%. Bit more. So that's our potting mix. Let's finish off filling this up, shall we? And for perlite, it is an optional extra. You don't have to have it. It is nice to have. And if you're sowing a lot of seeds, or there's a few gardeners, chip in and buy a very big bag. Works out a lot better value if you do it that way. So right, so here's our seed tray, and if you do have compost with big chunks in it, it is always worth sieving. I haven't because I'm stupid. Right, and first up we'll do chili peppers, and these are cayenne chilies. These like it warm, okay, so you're gonna have to grow them indoors. Polytunnel won't do it at the minute, and they will need heat unless you've got a heated mat in your polytunnel. So as always, I'll put 2 seeds per cell. And then just pop them down into the soil and stick a label in. I'm going to do 2 rows of these. And we like to start our chilies off very early in the season, simply because it's a long growing cycle for these. Push them down. And that's it. Job done. Okay, next up we've got peppers. And these are a variety called California Wonder. These did really well last year, by the way. And again, I like to start these early, and they do need heat to germinate. So hot tray is your winner. Two per cell again. I've gone for a larger cell tray on this one simply because I'll be heating it, and the smaller seed tray tends to dry out. So this sort of size multi seed tray, they do tend to dry out. So I've gone for a larger cell selection. Not all of these will germinate, so that's why I'm doing 2. If they germinate really well, I will separate them and pot them up. Chilies and peppers, they're very precious. You don't want to be killing one off just to make room for another. I'll just repot them on. Paying for my mistakes of not sieving the compost. I've got loads of lumps in here. So dab them in. And again, a label. So next up, we've got aubergines. Now, last year I left it far too late to sow these, so I'm going to get a head start. I'm not going to sow many. I'm going to do just one row. I'm going to put 2 per cell, so it's 8 seedlings, and we'll see how we get on. If they don't do very well, we've always got February and then March. So, and this is a variety called Black Beauty. Which in the past has done me well, but it's all about the germination on this one and not leaving it too late. There you go. Again, label in. Right, last but not least, we've got mini bell peppers. Now, where are we? Pop labeling now, so don't forget. Now these things, they're called mini bell red, and they just make the sweetest peppers you'll find. They're tiny. They're probably the size of a golf ball. The plant produces quite a few of them, and they're just a great addition to a greenhouse. You don't have to wait for them to get large and ripen off. They're beautiful. So try them if you haven't. And you can get away with sowing these in February and March, by the way. But I want to try these early, see if it makes any difference. Let's put a few in. And the plants don't get very big at all. Probably 30 centimeters in height. They're not massive. So you can put them in pots. Put them out on the patio, nice warm in the sun, and they will fly. So that's all the seeds done for the hotbed. And as if by magic, the sun comes out. So for my second tray, we're going to do a bit of a nod to Monty Don. I saw a post from Longmeadow, and he was sowing spring greens and tomatoes this time of year. So I saved my tomatoes for a bit later on, because they do tend to get leggy here. I don't know what he does differently. But for spring greens, let's fill this up and show you my selection. So we can use the same potting mix. And what I'm going to do, these will all go home and they'll all go under grow lights. But not 24 hours a day, by the way. I'll explain when we get there. Right, so that's that filled up. First up, we'll go for Marvel of Four Seasons. It's a nice butterhead lettuce. And as you can see, harvesting my lettuce all the time really. So The ones down there, they're coming to an end now. This is still beautiful. Haven't started that one yet. This one's coming into an end. And this is all year round lettuce, which is yet to be harvested. So I will run out. There are some on the ground, but they're not looking that brilliant, to be honest. So let's get cracking on this one. And the good thing about lettuce seeds is they give you an absolute ton of them. That's if you don't put them on the floor. Two or three per cell. Even more if you've got some spare. So, label. So this is 4 seasons. I'll pop that in there. Next up, do a nice bit of rocket. We have rocket on the go. It's still harvesting, but it will come to an end soon, and this will just span the gap. And I don't know if you can hear that, but it is really raining outside. So there'll be a rainbow somewhere. The sun's over there. Right, here we go. So rocket. Done. And we have one that I haven't tried at all. So it's a first on me. It's called Marooned, and it's a nice red lettuce. It's very compact. It's good for a small garden, so the packet says. So let's see how we get on with this, eh? And what I find with the red lettuces is the slugs don't tend to touch them. They go for the greener lettuces. So anything you can, even like the Lola Rosso, the red one, it doesn't get attacked by slugs as bad. We've all been there, can't get into a seed packet, so let's try a bit harder. Right, here we go, we're in. They don't want to come out, boys. Right. Finally, eh? Two or three per cell. Couple more for good luck. And that is marooned. So and then last but not least, good old favourite of mine, lettuce called Winter Destiny, which, like we said, it's this one here. So we know it works. And this will be a cold tray, so no heat's going on here. It'll just be, it'll be under glass, but it won't be heated manually. That's it. Labeling again. And it's always good to do the labels either beforehand or as you go, because otherwise you'll have a seed tray, you'll have sewn it all up and then completely forget what you've done. Well, that's what I do anyway. Right, here we go. So we'll sprinkle some compost over the top. And then we'll give her a water in. Now, before we go home and check out the grow light setup I have and talk you through what I do and the heating of those seedlings, you can hear that. Pretty much a storm going on right now. We've had the sun and now we're getting the rain. But the broad beans, a little mouse got in here and he has took the lot, sweet peas and broad beans. So I'm going to sow these up again. This time I'm going to outsmart the mouse by putting a cover over the top. And we'll see how we get on. So here's the seedlings in the final resting place. Now we want to get this as hot as humanly possible. So we want it up to around 28 degrees. This is a heated tray. And if you're, I've had this for years, you don't really see them around, but it will heat it up really warm. If you're struggling in a conservatory like this to get it warm enough, take it inside. We've got our grow lights that are on there as well. This tray, it'll run at 8 watts, which is really low power consumption. The new ones are the mats, but they do take a higher power consumption, so it's worth noting when you are looking at providing heat to your seedlings. And just for a small setup like this, I find this one perfect. If you want to see how I built this and sort of what power this takes up, I'll link that video next for you.